Muchan today, and we're gonna talk about how we brought Muchan over to Dubai from Tokyo on the plane with us, the paperwork that we had to do, the documentation, the procedures, etc. I would like to add a little disclaimer that everything I'm going to share is based on my own research and the information provided at that time. We moved in December of 2022, and so rules may have changed, or maybe I misunderstood something, or there's different rules depending on what country you're flying in from. So please just make sure to do your own due diligence and use this video just to get a general idea of the kinds of things that you need to do. 実は先週頑張って日本語オンリーでこの動画を撮ったんですけど、見返したら本当に日本語がめちゃくちゃで、日本を出国する出発前の、出発の 7日前にちゃんの航空の乗客予約をちょっと全然参考にならない動画になっちゃったのですみませんなんですけど、英語がミックスでちょっと字幕を日本語にします。So in Dubai, the rule is that animals must be transported into the Emirates via cargo. So with this as the rule, there are two options in bringing your dog over. Number one is that they're relocated as manifested cargo. So at the airport, you check them in. Sometimes they're not even on the same flight as you. They can arrive after you on a different flight. This option is for bigger dogs and also for people who want to fly into Dubai directly for whatever reason. But you cannot bring your dog in cabin for flights landing in Dubai. The other option is if you want to bring your pet with you on the plane, by your feet or maybe in the seat next to you, then you fly into Abu Dhabi using a different airline, using Etihad airline, and you then drive from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. Obviously, it is a detour, so it takes more time and it is quite pricey. But for us, Muchan and I are both very anxious beings, so there's just no way we could have done the 12 hours separated and not knowing how she was treated and things like that. So we went for this option number two. So I'm going to share the forms and procedures that we had to do to leave Japan, which is the export part, and then to get onto Etihad Airlines and then fly into Abu Dhabi or the UAE, which is the import part. Although the import part comes later, you still need to submit all these import documents at the time of export as well to the animal quarantine services. So I'm just gonna matomete share. Okay, so number one is the 輸出検査申請書. This is the export inspection application form. So when you leave Japan, your pet needs to undergo an export inspection exam at the animal quarantine services at the airports, and this application form has to be sent in at least 7 days before your departure. You can download it on the 動物検疫場の website, or I'll also leave the link in the description box so you can check it out. I basically just input all my information on that application form, and then I attached it and emailed it to the animal quarantine services with the flight details and also my request for the appointment time. Muchan's inspection actually took about 50 minutes, and I did read that it would take somewhere around 30 minutes to an hour. So I recommend that you set the appointment time for at least an hour before your check-in for the plane starts. All right, number two, 輸入許可書, which is the import permit. So you must apply for an import permit for your dog through the MOCCAE website, and this permit is valid for 1 month. Basically, I created an account, put in my flight details, Muchan's details, my details, and at this point I didn't need to upload any documents, just text information, and it was pretty straightforward and easy. And then after I submitted it, it only took a few minutes for the status to change to pending payment. Then I basically just clicked on the link and paid with my credit card. For me, it was 200 dirhams and a very, very small processing fee. So the total was 201.43 dirhams, which is like about 7,300 yen. Something to just be cautious about is that because it's a foreign website, my credit card actually didn't go through at first. So I had to call the credit card company and ask them to unblock my card and explain the situation and let them know I'm going to be using my card for perhaps other sites in the future as well. So it would be a good idea to just let your credit card company know that you will be using it on some foreign sites, and also maybe when you actually go abroad, it might be good to let them know that you're going to be in Dubai. After all that and the payment successfully went through, our import permit was issued within 2 days. So basically you just have to download it from that website and then bring it with you. Number 3 is ワクチン接種証明書, the vaccine certification. So in order for your pets to enter the UAE, they need to have the following vaccines. One is the rabies vaccine, and this needs to be administered at least 21 days before you land. And the others are, this is in English, I'll try to write it in Japanese, but CDV, canine parvo, infectious canine hepatitis, and leptospirosis. So for these ones, I basically discussed with Muchan's local vet that we always go to, and he gave her the 10-in-1 like 10種総合10種のvaccine that includes all of these vaccines. And then you basically just need a form saying that your dog has, these vaccines have been administered to your dog on this day and expires on this day. Number 4 is Microchip装着証明書. This is the microchip implant confirmation. So because it's the law in Japan for your pets to be microchipped, I don't think anyone will have to do this separately, but you just need a confirmation from the vet saying like, I scanned this part of this animal on this day, and here is I confirm that the microchip number is this. You don't necessarily have to have a separate document for this. It can be part of the vaccine certification list as well, but you just need to make sure that the information is somewhere in your documentation. And if for whatever reason your pet isn't microchipped yet, I believe that you have to get the microchip first before the rabies or the other vaccines in order to make it valid. Okay, number 5. これ読めないんだよね。外部寄生虫と内部寄生虫の駆除. This is the external and internal parasite treatment. This has to be done within 14 days of landing in the UAE. These aren't big treatments. They're basically just like a medicine that they have to swallow, or like this little dropper thing that you put on their skin and then it gets absorbed into their body. For the external parasite one, it has to have either fipronil or permethrin in it. And then for the internal one, it has to have praziquantel in it. So please just check with your local vet. But for Muchan, our vet gave us ones called Fiprospot Plus Dog and also Dorantaru Plus. And this also needs to be included in the documentation. So regarding the documents that I mentioned, number 3 to number 5, there's no set template or format that you need to have the document in. As long as the necessary information is in it and it's in English, you're free to present it however you want. So for me, I just made my own Excel in a way that was easy for me to see, basically. And the things that I included were also owner name, so my name, Muchan's name, species, breed, sex, date of birth, color, microchip number. Yeah, these were all just the basic details. I just wanted to be as thorough as possible. And then for all the vaccines and treatments, I also added the administration date, the expiration date, vaccine name, manufacturer, and lot number. Also, I didn't see this as an official rule or a statement or anything on any of the government websites, but I saw on other various sites and forums that you need the vet to stamp the document with their company, like their hospital or veterinary and clinical stamp on it. Basically, I just made all of the forms myself and then had the vet check through it and make sure all the information is right, and then had him sign it, date it, and stamp it. Moving on, number 6 is UAE 指定の健康診断書. This is the UAE's veterinary health certificate. And this is also known as Annex 3. You can find it on the government website, and it's basically a template of this health certificate that the government needs. And it's pretty much all of the documents that I mentioned earlier condensed into one document. I filled this out and sent it to animal quarantine services to be checked with all my other documents. Okay, number 7 is the 健康診断書. This is another health certificate form, and this is just a Japanese one. So I'm not completely sure that I needed this, but it was on the Animal Quarantine Services website. So 念のため I just printed it out, and it's just one piece of paper, and I asked my vet to fill it out and sign that one as well. So for documents number 1 through 7 that I just mentioned, I really recommend that you send it to Animal Quarantine Services at least a week before your flight. They are very kind, they're very thorough, so they'll check everything and make sure you haven't missed anything, or if they have questions about something, just so you have time before your flight and you're not scrambling on the day of. Okay, number 8 is 輸出検査の証明書. 輸出検査証明書. This is the export inspection certificate. So Animal Quarantine Services will issue this document after your dog's inspection is finished at the airport, and it will be in English. And one of the required documents to enter the UAE is a health certificate that's issued within 24 hours of departure. So this covers that requirement. Okay, number 9. Etihad 航空のペット予約. This is the Etihad Pet Booking form. So this booking form needs to be submitted at least 7 days before the flight. If there's a passenger on the flight with a dog allergy, or there's already another dog reserved for that flight, you will have to change yours. So in order to make sure that my flight was available for Muchang, I actually called customer services and confirmed that there were no slots taken yet before I booked it. And for me, they confirmed that the slot was still open. So right after I hung up is when we bought the tickets. And then right after we bought the tickets, we filled out this pet booking form. There's a section where they prompt you to upload all of the documents, but I didn't have all of them ready yet. So I didn't upload any of them yet at this point, and just sent it with all of the text information. And then within 24 hours, they emailed us saying, Muchan's spot has been reserved for the flight, and to please send all of the documents no later than 72 hours before the flight. But the thing is, we weren't able to send all of the documents within 72 hours because, for example, the health certificate has to also be issued within 24 hours, right? So I only sent what I had at the time and what I could. But just one day after sending those documents, they emailed us saying that Muchan's spot has been approved, and to let them know when they can call us so that we can pay the $1,500 onboarding fee. Okay, number 10 is the リリース許可書. This is the consignment release permit. So document number 2 that I mentioned was the import permit, but this is actually split into 2 different parts. And one is the import permit, and then the second is this release permit, which is what you need in order to clear your dog from immigration once you land. So once it's 24 hours before your flight, on the same website as the import permit page, there will be a link/button that pops up that says request consignment release. So technically you are able to do this beforehand and once this button comes up, but I didn't know what to fill out for some of the parts, and I thought I was meant to do it with the vet once I landed anyway, so I didn't do it. But then the vet was like, why didn't you do it? So have to. I'm not sure if you're meant to do it, but for me, I was just able to do it with the vet, and she helped me upload the pictures of the documents that we need for this release. I think it just speeds up the process if you do it beforehand. So one of the documents that you have to upload for this release is your plane ticket. So timing wise, I think the best time to do it is after you check in and you're just waiting to board the flight, or once you land in Abu Dhabi, and then you can use the airport Wi-Fi to connect to internet and then quickly upload all your documents while you're maybe waiting in line for immigration. And at the end, we just paid the 500 dirhams release fee with our credit card, similar to how we did it for the import, and we were done. So those were all the documents and the treatments that we needed to get for Muchang. But another thing that you need to do is also hire a pet taxi service to take you from the Abu Dhabi airport to your stay in Dubai. In the UAE, animals are not allowed in the taxis, and I'm not sure exactly how strict this rule is. But since we've never been here, we didn't know, so we arranged for a taxi service, and the one that we used is called Pet Chauffeur. We were able to arrange everything via text message through WhatsApp while we were still in Japan, and they were really fast with their replies and very professional. So yeah, we really recommend this company. We've used them once more since we've been here as well. But the off business hours transportation from Abu Dhabi airport to our hotel in Dubai was a flat rate of 800 dirhams, which is like 3万円ぐらい. Okay, so some other things to keep in mind are the Etihad Airlines rule is that your dog must be at least 16 weeks old. Number 2, there are some breeds that are not allowed into the Emirates, so please check beforehand that your dog's breed is okay. Third one is to make sure that you check the carry case sizing rules. If you're placing your dog under the seat, it can be up to 40 centimeters width, 40 centimeters depth, and then 20 meters height. And the rules are that your dog must be able to sit, stand, and turn around comfortably within those dimensions. You also have the option of buying another seat on the plane, in which case your carry can be 50 by 43 by 50 centimeters height. So it is a lot bigger, but this is also on top of the $1,500 onboarding fee that you have to pay anyways. So it is quite pricey. Honestly, I think the strictness of this rule really will depend on who's helping you check in and who's checking your dog. For us, we were quite tight with the measurements. Like the case itself was fine. It was just like the standing and the turning around part that, 22 centimeters is really small. So luckily for us, the lady who was checking us in at that time was really nice and we were able to get through, but I'm not sure that we'll be so lucky every single time, to be honest. It is at your own risk, but if you're really worried, you might just want to buy another seat next to you on the plane. Okay, so that was all of the documents and the paperwork that we needed to do for Michan in order for us to bring her with us on the plane to Dubai. Honestly, I think if you speak English, you can do this process by yourself. But if you don't speak any English, it might be a bit difficult, and I think it will be better for you to use a pet relocation service. So I hope this video was helpful even a little bit for those of you who are gonna come to Dubai with your dog in the future. If you found this video helpful at all, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or concerns, please just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Hope your pet relocation process goes smoothly and see you next time. Bye!